Jai Hind. My name is Neeharika Tripathi, working as assistant professor in CSA department at AKGEC. Today, I will be discussing about Introduction to Data Analytics and Visualization. The subject code is BCDS 501. So, my topic for today is Introduction to Data. Basically, what is data? What is the purpose of analyzing the data? We will be studying about that. But before I proceed, I wanted to tell you about what is the difference between the data science and the data analytics. What is the purpose? Basically, why do we are doing data science? Why studying data science, and then what is the purpose of doing data analytics? Basically, data science is the field that deals with if you want to extract a meaningful information from various algorithms or given algorithms, and we are working on those algorithms to find out the insights, deeper insights. So that we use data science, and in the data analytics we get the conclusions about the whatever the information we need. We process the raw data, and then we extract, we come to a conclusion why it is happening, what is the reason behind this. So this is the main difference between the data science and the data analytics. So next is, why do we need data analytics? What is the purpose behind this data analytics? Basic data science, it is useful in many fields. Why do we need, what is the purpose? Because the technologies are improving, are enhancing the technology. There are many people who are using the internet. So the data is very huge in size. So if we will work on those data, if we will have a deeper understanding about data, we can come to better pricing, better productivity, better marketing strategies. So that is why we need data analytics. So it helps organizations to make sense of this data, turning into actionable insights. These insights can be used to enhance the product services, enhance experiences, streamline operations, and increase the profitability. Now next is, we have studied about data science and data analytics, but we should know what is data. What is the purpose of using the data before that? But we should know what is the data. Data is any raw information, raw, that is a raw fact. For example, like if I say that, I talk about this pen. So I say that this pen, if I want to ask the students, what is this object? This is a pen. The students are saying this is a pen. Some are saying that this is blue in color. That is a raw data, which is measured in bits. Basically the data transferred over the computer, it is measured in bits or bytes, because this is the basic unit for calculation in the computer memory. So anything that is raw, that is unorganized, that is data. But if we process this, if we if we organize the data, it becomes information. So basically data is raw fact and information is the organized content of a data. So for example, like I said that this is a pen, it is gray in color, it has a black point tip, it is used for writing purpose. So this is a data that is given by that I have observed these things. But if I give it if I write into an organized content, if I give it a structured way, it will become information. So basically, what is the difference between the data and the information? So data is an organized and unrefined fact. That is, unorganized fact is data, but information is a organized fact presented in a meaningful way. Data is the individual unit, but information is a collective unit. As I said, this pen, all the features of this pen will be combined into a single, into a structured way, in a logical way. So this will give us about the insight of what is the this is the information. Data does not depend upon information, but information, it will come from the raw fact only. We cannot organize organize data until and unless we have some facts or figures. Although the raw data is insufficient for decision making, but information, the organized data is useful for decision making, but we cannot use the raw data to make decisions. So example of students' test score, but the average score of all the students is the like a student, example of there are many 30 students in a class, and if I talk about the score of one student, so this is this is a data, but if I talk about the average score of whole class, will be a information, will become information. Now we come to know about the sources of the data, where the data comes from. So data collection sources. So basically there are two types of data, the primary data and the secondary data. Now what is the meaning of primary data? Now primary data means the data which will be collected by the individual, so by communicating with the individual only. For example, in our home, that the census people will come at your home. They will ask you about your information, who are the family members present in your home, how many members are there, what is the occupation, age of the persons in your family. So this is a primary data, because it will be collected by directly connecting with the individual. So primary data. Now primary data it has different types. So first is the survey method. There are different methods in the primary data. First is the survey method. The survey method is an example, like if we are filling in feedback form over the internet, or like the census people, they are coming at your home to take your information. This is a survey method. And another example can be in the schools, the various institutes come for the training of the students. They get the data of the students. So that is a survey method, by collecting the data from the individuals. That is survey method. Next is the interview method. Now what is the meaning of interview method? Now interview method means there are two persons involved here. One is the interviewer and the other is the interviewee. Interviewer and the interviewee. Now interviewer is the person who is, before I start, what is the interview method? Now here the two persons are involved. One will ask the questions and the one will give the responses. So basically interview method means there is an interviewer and there is an interviewee. Interviewer will ask the questions and the interviewee will give the answers. So this is the interview method. Next method is observation method. Now what is observation method? Now observation method means if there are a group of individuals sitting, we have to act, we have to collect the data, we have to write the observations, we have to write the what findings, what we have done, what we have calculated from the group of the people. That is an observation method. For example, tarot card reading, or the people who are for example, if in a class I tell that all the students have to sit quietly for a minute. So if some of the students are not responding, they are not sitting quietly, they keep on talking. So this is an observation that I can tell the student that these people were talking, these students were talking. So basically this is an observation method. Now next is the data collection method is secondary data. Now what is secondary data? Now secondary data means the data which is once collected from primary data, but we get the information from primary data. Secondary means that is extracted from the information that is being taken from the primary data. So there are different types of data, internal data and the external data. For example, in a college, you take admission, while you are taking admission, your entry will be first filled by the registrar office or the main admission department, and this information will be transmitted to the respective departments after your admission. So this is a secondary data. Now internal data, the data of the persons in the organization, within the organization, which is not to be transmitted to the other organization. For example, if I say that I talk about the students of a school, of an institution, they are the part of the organization. Their information will not be passed on to outside organization, because they are within the internal organization. Now next is the external data. Now external data means the data that is outside the organization, that is collected from the newspapers, journals, magazines. That is a secondary data, external data. There can be, although there can be other sources of data, for example, the social media data, weather forecasting data, transportation data, anything we can, there can be corrective sources. Now, classification of data. So, there are three types: structured data, unstructured, and the semi-structured data. There are the three types of sources. They are the main you can say backbone of the data. There are three types: structured, unstructured, and semi-structured. So, what is the meaning of structured data? Now, structured data means the data that is fixed. For example, the data in the tables, table form, RDBMS is an example of a structured data that is having a fixed schema and it is maintained in a tabular form. For example, relational database, card numbers, addresses of a person, mobile number of a person is a structured data. Next is the unstructured data. Now, unstructured data, that is in which the data is not in a proper form. It is an organized data. It does not have any format. For example, the data which is transmitted over the internet, there can be text information, there can be image, there can be videos, there can be captures, anything. These are the unstructured, because there is no fixed format, and the maximum over the internet, the data is in an unstructured form. So, which is very difficult by the RDBMS to handle such type of data. So, for example, the word data, PDF, text, media logs, etc. they are the unstructured data because we do not have any, these data do not have any format. Next is the semi-structured data. Now, semi-structured means partially structured, partially unstructured. So, that is the data that is unorganized as well as organized. For example, the email message. Now, how we can say that email message is a semi-structured data. For example, if I write an email, there is a proper format. Like first you have to write to, then CC or BC, that is optional, then subject, and then comes the body. Now, if any part goes missing, we cannot send an email. Either we can choose subject, it is an optional thing, but the subject and the body are optional, but the two should be the two part, the sender recipient's address should be there in the two column. So, that is a fixed format, we cannot change that format. Then the body. Now, in the body, there we can send attachments, like we can send PDF files also, we can send Word files also, we can send PDF files. So, that is an unstructured. Structured means the data like to, CC, subject and the body part. These were the structured information. So, this was structured, and then body. In the body, the content can be attachment, text as well as media files. So, that is an unstructured data. Now, XML data. How we can say XML is a semi-structured data. Now, if I talk about XML, that is extensible markup language that is used, that consists of some user defined tags. Now, user defined tags are there. There is a fixed format for the tags. We have to use the tags as well as we have to write the user defined data types also. So, this is an XML data is structured as well as the unstructured data. So, we came to know about the three types of data: structured, unstructured and the semi-structured. Structured means the data that is in proper form, in a tabular form. Unstructured means there is no fixed format, or unstructured data can be called as complex data because it does not have any fixed format. Now, semi-structured data, the data that is structured as well as unstructured. For example, image data. Now, what are the various characteristics of data? What are data quality basically? So, data quality means first is the first point is the accuracy of the data. The data should be accurate. The information that is for example, if I say that if you have like in your bank account number, you have entered some wrong account number. So, what will happen? The account, if you want to do any transaction, the information you will not be able to access that account. So, the data must be accurate. We should make sure the data for some confidential information should be accurate and it should be complete also. Any incomplete data will lead to like failures or bad results, false results. So data should be accurate, data should be complete, and it should be relevant also. For example, if I say that you have to write the phone number of your father only, but if you write a number, you will write in that column you have written some address of your friend or anything. So that is an irrelevant information. The data you can say incorrect as well as irrelevant information. Now next point is the consistency. Now what is the meaning of consistency? Now consistency means in the internet the data is stored at multiple locations. If the data is stored at multiple locations, if you are making changes at one location, it should the changes should be reflected in the other files also. That means the data is consistent. It is true in all respect, it is complete in all respect. It is consistent means any changes in one file will make changes in the other files also. There should be no coherence. It should have limited time limit. It should be defined in a proper way. These are the characteristics of the data. Now next is introduction to big data platform. Before we start with big data platform, we should know what is big data. Now big data, the data that is very huge in size. Basically we can say the data that is in the form of petabytes of data, which is very huge in size. So it is a data which is so large and complexity that none of the traditional data management tools, now traditional data management tools here means RDBMS, can store or process it efficiently. That means big data is very huge in size and it is very complex data set, or we can say the unstructured data. So RDBMS fails here. RDBMS is not useful for handling such type of data, for handling complex data set. So there exists a need to have some platforms that will be useful for handling such type of data, or we can say handling such structured data. Now some of the examples of big data are social media data, because generally it has been observed, it has been analyzed that there are the maximum 500 plus terabytes of data get inserted into the databases of social media site every day. 500 plus terabytes means 500 plus terabyte mean 2 raised to the power 40 terabytes or multiple of 500. So a huge amount of data is being stored in the Facebook database, on the or you can say any social media site database. And a single jet engine can generate 10 plus TB of data in 30 minutes of flight times. It can generate 10 TB of data. So generally these type of data are in very huge in size. They can be petabytes. Now petabytes means the data that is in the power of 2 raised to the power 15. Next is, what are the various characteristics of big data? Generally there are different characteristics, but we work on, there are 5 V's. 5 V's for big data. 5 V's. First is volume. Volume means the data that is very huge in size. The first characteristics of big data is that the data is very huge in size. There is a huge amount of data. Next is variety. The data can be structured, unstructured, or semi-structured. So there are different variety of data. There can be media files, there can be video files, there can be text files, there can be word files. So there are different types of formats are available over the internet for basically for big data, for data analytics. Now next, value. The next is the value, means extracting the useful information, the information which we need to extract, we need to analyze, we need to study. So that is value. Next is the velocity. Velocity means speed, the data is transmitting at a very fast speed we require, and the data is coming like into stored in the databases of every site is very fast. Veracity means there are no inconsistency or uncertainty in the uncertainty, inconsistency and uncertainty. There are inconsistencies and uncertainty mean the data is not in a complete form, it is not accurate, it can have some false results, false values also, so vague values also. That is means the data is inconsistent as well as uncertain. Now there are different types of big data platform. First is the Apache Hadoop. Now Apache Hadoop is basically the main, we can say this is a main backbone of the handling the big data, because this framework is an open source framework that is used to handle the data. So this was all about the various sites that are using Apache Hadoop is Yahoo, Facebook, Twitter. Next is Apache Spark, which is used by Netflix, Uber and Airbnb. So there are different types of, in the same way there are different types of platform. So this was all about the big data, introduction of data, what are the various types of data. Thank you very much.